It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Friday, the 1st of July. I'm Michael Groff. Typically, this is the time of the year where the monsoon really gets ramped up, but instead, it looks like it's going to take the 4th of July holiday on hiatus, plus a few extra days. The good news with that is that temperatures are actually going to stay at or maybe even a few degrees below normal, thanks to troughing sitting to the west of us. But don't get used to it, because by late next week, high pressure builds back in, and it's a good news, bad news scenario. The good news is monsoon moisture is expected to return with that feature, at least in some capacity. The bad news, this is going to be a very intense ridge, so it looks like another bout of excessive heat will be coming our way. All right, so we've got a lot going on here, a lot of things to talk about. We'll do that in just a moment, but first, it's Friday, so that means it's Photo Friday here, and that's where we take a look at some of the photos and or videos that you guys have submitted. And first up, the one and only Michelle. Yes, we were in Idaho about 10 days ago, and that's where we took these pictures from around Lucky Peak. And the Pacific Northwest and Idaho has experienced above average precipitation during the late winter and spring months, and things are very green, very lush up there. And the lake there at Lucky Peak, a lot of water in it. It's filled all the way up to the brim, and that is a sight for sore eyes across the western states, unfortunately. And it's too bad that we can't see that further south here across the greater Southwest, but still fantastic weather, fantastic pictures, and a good time under the circumstances there with Michelle. All right, now a very different look here. Talk about a contrast of photos. Then we go to the Death Valley area, and these are courtesy of James. And then you go from there to Mount Whitney, and you go up toward the summit of Mount Whitney. And again, just beautiful, very picturesque stuff, but very different from what was experienced in Idaho. Then we have some pictures from someone. These are anonymous, but some random storms that were going on around the area, some billowing clouds, and just the kind of stuff that we've been seeing the last week and a half to 10 days, thanks to the monsoon starting a bit early here across the Southwest. So thank you to whoever you are for sending those in. Then we go up to Northwest Arizona. Steve in Willow Creek has some monsoonal photos to take a look at here. Those ominous skies, those dark clouds, and some rain coming down up there. Then Chris Martin has this picture of some cumulus clouds. Michelle will love this picture. Those fluffy clouds draped against a pristine blue sky in northern Arizona. From that, we go back to the desert. This is courtesy of John Armstrong. Looks like a sunset going on there in a somewhat foreshadowing sky, I suppose, juxtaposed with the beauty of the desert. Speaking of sunsets, yes, we have more to get to. Beth has these pictures from North Phoenix, a gorgeous set of sunsets ongoing. I think these are from a couple of weeks ago, and so it's always good to see those. Doesn't matter, summer, winter, monsoon time, always a good time to get those Arizona sunsets. And finally, if there was monsoon activity to be found across the state, you know Ryan Seek went out there and got it. And this is from down there in Pima County near Ajo. Nice rain shaft in that shot. And more very dark skies, monsoon storms developing across the southern and southwestern portion of the state. And of course, if there's Ryan Seek photos to be seen, that means there's going to be some spectacular lightning shots as well. And that's what you have here. And plenty of those to take a look at. Look at that one. My goodness. So thank you to everyone, and I mean everyone. We had a ton of submissions this week. We couldn't do it without you. Photo Friday, we do it each and every week, and if you want to get your submissions on here, well, the best way to do that is to send them via my email. groffshow@gmail.com is the email address. That is GROFFshow@gmail.com for Photo Friday. All right, let's get into it here. First of all, we just wrapped up the month of June, so that means we've got those climate stats to take a look at. And if it felt like it was unusually warm this past month, well, that's because it was. June 2022 will go down as the 6th warmest June on record, with a mean temperature of 94.2 degrees. And the good news is it was wetter than average. I know, not by the standard of most cities across the country, but here in Phoenix, one of our driest months, well, it turned out we picked up 0.32 of an inch of rain, and that's good enough for 8th wettest all time. Of course, the wettest being 1.7 inches back in 1972. Now, let's take a look at those climate stats from yesterday. 105 degrees, the afternoon high. 87 was the morning low. The normal high, 107, and the normal low, 83. And as we take a look outside right now, here at 11:40 a.m., mostly sunny sky out there, and we're sitting at 100 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point at 58, relative humidity 24%. The winds are light, and the barometer is falling. Satellite picture across the country right now shows a change in the overall weather pattern. Our ridge that's been so dominant out here across the southwest, it's being pushed off to the east thanks to a trough just off the Pacific Northwest. You can see there the flow aloft is starting to turn out of the southwest, and that's pushing our monsoon moisture further to the east. A few showers ongoing across the southern border and over southeast Arizona, and those will continue to develop as we go through the day today, but they should stay away from us. Here's the watch warning map. We've got red flag warnings and fire weather watches from the Mojave Desert up into the Great Basin. As things start to dry out around here, they will continue to do so further to the north and west of us. We also have those red flag warnings and dense smoke advisories continuing for a good portion of Alaska, the Tanana Valley, and north and east from there as well. Dry conditions and unusually warm temperatures, highs up in the low to middle 80s across the interior of Alaska, with dry conditions helping to continue those wildfires there. Here in Maricopa County, we've got an air quality alert once again today for elevated ozone levels. So you asthma and emphysema sufferers, again, limit those outdoor activities for the rest of the day today and into tonight. Convective outlook, we've got the standard slight risk of severe storms today around Rapid City and Spearfish, South Dakota. The marginal risk from the western plains all the way up into the Great Lakes and parts of the Northeast. As we check the tropics in the Atlantic Basin, a couple of features of note here. First, we've got an area of disturbed weather off the east coast of the United States. And then way down to the south, we still have our low latitude system here. This is Tropical Storm Bonnie that has now developed. And this is expected to impact Costa Rica and Nicaragua over the next 12 to 24 hours. And as it does, we do expect this system to maintain tropical storm strength. And I know people have asked about this on email, and we've gotten this kind of question over the years. If this system retains tropical storm strength while it crosses Central America and emerges back out over the Pacific still as a tropical storm, then it would retain its name Bonnie. But if it loses tropical storm strength for a while and then redevelops in the Pacific, it gets a new name. That's how that works. It's kind of confusing, and I think they've changed the rules on that a couple of times, but that's the way it works. Now, once this system gets past Central America and out over the eastern Pacific, it will enter a much more favorable environment for development, and this is expected to become a hurricane. Now, the other question that we'll have is, could this have even a minor impact on our weather way down the road out there toward the middle and latter part of next week? And the answer to that is we just don't know yet. We'll have to see how this feature plays out and whether or not we'll get southerly or southwesterly flow later next week to bring in some of that tropical moisture. For now, it's just a feature of interest. All right, as we bring it back closer to home, here's a look at precipitation. This is valid through Friday morning of next week. Rain amounts here in Phoenix, nothing expected. Statewide, though, yes, we could still see some rain across the eastern portion of the state, the higher terrain, and across southeast Arizona as well. It's possible you could even see as much as 2 inches of rain over that way because the monsoon moisture may be pushed away from us, but it's not going to go all that far. It won't be completely scoured out of the region, so it wouldn't take much to bring it back, and it is likely that we will at least see some moisture returning by later next week. We'll talk about that and everything else with the forecast right now as we get to the models. Have a look at it. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run, and this is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. We've got a deepening trough off the Pacific Northwest coast, and that's going to continue to be the trend this weekend. That system expected to be unusually strong for this time of year. Meanwhile, high pressure moving away from us, so much of the state is under southwesterly flow, a drier flow of air for most of us. So what it means for Phoenix here down at the surface for today, yeah, mostly sunny sky for the rest of the afternoon. High temperatures not far away from where we ought to be, around 102 to 106. Tonight, the sky is mostly clear. Overnight lows generally in the upper 70s to mid 80s. And then tomorrow, sunny sky, high temperature around 101 to 105. And that is actually a couple of degrees below normal. And that's thanks to this trough that's just going to continue to sit to the west of us. Same thing for Sunday, highs 101 to 106. The sky mostly sunny. And widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue over the eastern mountains of the state, but they will be deflected away from us. Now, let's go to Monday. This is the 4th of July, and things might actually turn out to be ever so slightly more interesting than meets the eye here. Some of our guidance is showing a weak short wave rotating around the southern edge of this trough along the west coast and crossing the state from southwest to northeast. And with it, maybe pulling some moisture and adding some extra dynamic support. And that could introduce at least the possibility of some isolated thunderstorms across south central deserts, including Phoenix. So we will have to keep an eye on that trend as we go forward over the next couple of days because, of course, with 4th of July, fireworks celebrations, outdoor activities, you don't necessarily want to see those chances of storms. It's one of the few days of the year where you don't. But the other piece of good news here is that with heights being a little bit below average, high temperatures on the 4th of July, maybe upper 90s to around 104, and that's a few degrees below normal. And for the 4th of July, that's not so bad because we've been as hot as 118 degrees on the 4th back in 1989. And luckily, we'll be nowhere near that. Widely scattered showers and storms expected to continue across east central and southeast Arizona during that time. Tuesday, more of the same, widely scattered showers and storms over the eastern portion of the state. We stay dry, though, highs maybe warming up a degree or two. And then by Wednesday, our Pacific Northwest trough is going to start to retrograde. It's going to shift back off to the west, and that's going to allow high pressure across the southern and central plains to expand back to the west. And so temperatures will start to warm back toward around 104 to 107. By Thursday, highs 106 to 109. Would not be surprised to see the hottest deserts exceeding 110 degrees. And our guidance is showing a pretty good warm up here out toward the end of next week, maybe even warmer than what we're depicting right now. But then check this out as we go to a week from today. This is Friday, the 8th of July. And my goodness, that's a 600 decameter ridge that's sitting just to the north of us across Utah and over the Four Corners. And if that verifies, the heat would be on here across much of the western states. Now, it's good news, bad news. The good news is that ridge is in a good position to bring easterly flow into the state for at least some return of monsoon moisture. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms might come back to the south central deserts, including Phoenix, if that's right. The bad news is twofold, though. First, it would be excessively hot here. We'd have high temperatures at or above 110 degrees. The other thing is, with that in such an intense ridge being so close to us, the mid-levels of the atmosphere might be a little too warm to support any real deep or long-lasting convection across the area, thunderstorm activity. So it would probably be more of an isolated thunderstorm event in that scenario. But if that ridge is a little further to the north or northeast of us, or if it's not quite as intense, then thunderstorm activity might be a bit more robust. We'll just have to see. Then as we take a look out 10 days, this is Sunday, the 10th of July, still 597 ridge in a pretty optimal position for southeasterly flow, and scattered to numerous afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms would be around here if that is correct. Now, as we check out rainfall for Phoenix, this is going out through the 15th of July, coming off of the GFS ensemble. Every single member still indicating precipitation during this period. The ensemble mean still right around or a little bit above a half an inch. That's good. And temperatures off the national blend of models. Now, relative for this time of year, really not that bad, at least not through the 4th of July or even Tuesday. And then after that, here comes the heat. High temperatures at or maybe above 110 degrees and maybe for an extended period of time. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here on Monday morning. Of course, updates before that if necessary. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. Music fans, check it out. It's still there 24/7, 365. It is my streaming station. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun while doing that. It's myself and the one and only Michelle Cadell, MBA, that are involved in the programming, operation, and just general chaos that is that station. So, of course, I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. Do check it out. All right, thank you so much for watching and all of your continued support. It is greatly appreciated. You guys be safe out there. It is the 4th of July weekend. A lot of crazies, a lot of wacky stuff happens. We want all of you back here, and we want you all back here in one piece. Don't be missing appendages the next time we chat here, okay? So stay cool, stay hydrated, watch your kids around the swimming pool, have yourselves a great Friday, and a wonderful and safe 4th of July weekend.